Watching prices relentlessly rise at the grocery store or the gas pump, feeling like your hard-earned savings are melting away, is a uniquely helpless experience. We work tirelessly to build a financial safety net, only to watch the silent thief of inflation erode our purchasing power month after month. If you are tired of this grueling cycle and wondering how to shield your money from economic chaos, there is a proven historical blueprint for turning the tables. You do not have to be a Wall Street insider to outsmart a volatile market or protect your family's future. By looking back at a real-world example of wealth protection during one of the most turbulent economic periods in modern history, we can uncover a powerful, actionable strategy for today. We are going to examine how a man named Mr. Henderson used a highly specific type of investment to not only survive but thrive, turning economic panic into a springboard for lasting financial independence. To understand his remarkable success, we must travel back to the 1970s economy, a decade notorious for its brutal and unforgiving financial climate. Inflation was skyrocketing at an unprecedented pace, eventually reaching 13.5%, while overall economic growth completely stagnated. This toxic combination meant the cost of living was exploding, yet wages and traditional savings accounts were left completely in the dust. Everyday people were watching their wealth evaporate in real time, powerless to stop the bleed. The natural human reaction during such severe market volatility is absolute panic, and that is exactly what happened. Investors were fleeing the stock market in droves, terrified that the wild, unpredictable price swings would wipe out their life savings overnight. They moved their money into cash or physical assets, hoping to simply weather the storm and wait for better days. But retreating to cash during a period of high inflation is mathematically equivalent to trying to stop a sinking ship with a leaky bucket. Mr. Henderson took a completely counterintuitive approach to the crisis unfolding around him. Instead of running away from the chaos, he strategically deployed his capital into dividend growth stocks. A dividend is simply a portion of a company's profit paid directly to its shareholders, usually on a regular quarterly basis. Henderson specifically targeted companies with a proven, multi-decade track record of not just paying these dividends, but consistently increasing them year after year, regardless of the broader economic weather. He focused his attention entirely on resilient sectors like consumer staples, basic utilities, and healthcare. These are the foundational businesses that produce the everyday essentials people must buy, whether the economy is booming or crashing into a recession. Because these companies sold absolute necessities, they possessed incredible pricing power. When inflation drove up their own production costs, they could seamlessly pass those price increases on to consumers without losing business, ensuring their revenues and profits continued to climb. As those corporate profits steadily grew, so did the cash payments sent directly to Mr. Henderson's mailbox. This is the absolute crux of true wealth protection. While the broader market was wildly fluctuating and the purchasing power of a standard dollar was rapidly shrinking, his actual cash income was rising. His quarterly dividend checks were increasing at a rate that matched, and in many cases exceeded, the crushing inflation of the era. Crucially, he did not spend this new influx of income on lifestyle upgrades. Instead, he relentlessly applied the principle of compound interest by automatically reinvesting those dividends right back into buying more shares of those exact same companies. Compound interest is the powerful process where your investments earn returns, and then those returns start earning their own returns. By reinvesting, he was buying more shares, which then paid him even more dividends, creating a self-sustaining engine of exponential wealth creation. The psychological benefit of this automated system was just as valuable as the immense financial gain. While his neighbors were obsessing over the daily ticker tape and losing sleep over plunging share prices, Henderson simply focused on his rising income stream. The daily market volatility that paralyzed other investors became completely irrelevant to his daily life. His portfolio was generating a rising river of cash, providing a profound sense of peace and security while the rest of the world panicked. Over the course of the decade, the results of this highly disciplined approach were absolutely staggering. The broader stock market remained relatively flat when adjusted for inflation, leaving many average investors exactly where they started, or significantly worse off. But Henderson's portfolio had quietly and efficiently multiplied in value. The continuous cycle of reinvested dividends had dramatically increased his share count, meaning when the market eventually recovered, his total wealth exploded upward. We can apply this exact same logic to our modern financial lives to build our own impenetrable fortresses. We face our own bouts of inflation and economic uncertainty today, making this historical lesson incredibly relevant to anyone trying to build a secure future. You do not need massive amounts of capital to begin executing a similar strategy right now. It starts with a simple shift in mindset, moving from a speculator hoping for random price jumps to a business owner demanding a reliable cut of the profits. Before you can invest, you must create the capital to do so, and that begins with a ruthless and intentional budget. By tracking your monthly income and systematically cutting unnecessary expenses, you manufacture the seed money for your dividend portfolio. Every single dollar you save by skipping a discretionary purchase and instead routing it into your investment account is a definitive step toward permanent wealth protection. Those budgeting principles are the bedrock upon which all future wealth is built. Modern financial tools make executing this strategy incredibly simple and accessible for the everyday investor. You can utilize an ETF or exchange-traded fund, which is a single investment fund that holds a large, diversified basket of different stocks. By purchasing a dividend-focused ETF, you instantly achieve broad diversification, spreading your risk across hundreds of high-quality, dividend-paying companies with a single transaction. This completely removes the stress and extreme risk of trying to pick individual winning stocks. Proper asset allocation is the next crucial step in your wealth-building journey. This simply means intelligently dividing your overall investment portfolio among different asset categories, like stocks, bonds, and cash reserves, to balance risk and reward according to your specific timeline. By dedicating a core, foundational portion of your allocation to dividend growth strategies, you create a sturdy income-generating anchor for your entire financial house. The magic of compounding that protected wealth in the 1970s is still fully operational and waiting for you today. Every time you reinvest a modern dividend, you are essentially buying a tiny mechanical worker that will tirelessly generate more cash for you, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Over years and decades, this silent snowball effect transforms modest, consistent monthly contributions into a massive, unstoppable avalanche of passive income. Imagine reaching a point in the near future where your investments generate enough cash to completely cover your monthly grocery bill. Then, as the compounding continues its work, that income grows to cover your utility bills, your car payment, and eventually, your entire mortgage. This is the true working definition of financial independence. It is not about driving luxury cars or wearing designer clothes. It is about buying back your own time and having the ultimate freedom to choose how you live your life. The greatest threat to this strategy is not a sudden market crash, but a simple lack of patience and discipline. Building lasting wealth through dividend growth is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is a get-rich-surely marathon that requires unwavering commitment. There will absolutely be years when your portfolio's total value dips, and it will be incredibly tempting to abandon the plan in fear. But remembering the historical resilience of income-generating assets provides the deep conviction needed to stay the course. Consider the broader, highly complex economic landscape we navigate today. Global supply chain disruptions, rapidly shifting interest rates, and unpredictable geopolitical events constantly threaten to destabilize our personal economies. Relying solely on a traditional salary leaves you entirely exposed to these massive macroeconomic winds. A steadily growing stream of dividend income acts as a personal shock absorber, insulating your household from financial forces completely beyond your control. You hold the absolute power to dictate your financial future, regardless of what the broader economy is doing. The legacy of Mr. Henderson is not just a fascinating story about surviving a difficult decade in the past. It is a timeless, actionable testament to the power of human discipline, strategic long-term thinking, and the absolute mathematical certainty of compound growth. By prioritizing resilient companies that willingly share their ongoing success with their everyday investors, you align your financial destiny with the unstoppable engine of global commerce. It is time to stop fearing inflation and start using the core mechanics of the market to your distinct advantage. The blueprint has been proven across decades of economic booms and devastating busts. The only variable left is your willingness to take that first step, to prioritize long-term security over short-term gratification, and to begin building your own resilient financial empire today.